This is Baxter Colburn, host of Verse of the Day. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Bryce Burge, host of Your Soccer Passport here on Public House Media. After this episode, come join us on a trip around the soccer world as we discuss club and country every Tuesday. Stamp your soccer passport by subscribing on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your Public House Media podcasts. And thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Welcome to the C. Jane Sell podcast,
a relatable sales podcast for your weekly dose of sanity. I'm your host, Chelsea Dupre.
and I'm your host, Lee Nevis.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome!
To another episode of C. Jane Sell.
Yay! Here we are.
You got Lee and Chelsea here.
We are here. This
Present.
is Lee.
This is maybe Chelsea.
I don't know.
You can't see me, so you don't know.
I think one episode we should just pretend that we're the other person and refer to each other as the other person's name.
Maybe we are right now. Do they know?
We already established.
Okay. Blink once if you're Lee. Blink twice if you're Chelsea.
This is a project for another time.
Yeah.
You know?
Just beta testing right
Absolutely. We are.
now. That's great.
But yeah, we're having a good day so far.
So far, so good.
I gave Chelsea a dermaplane facial,
Yeah, it's amazing.
which I was really excited about. And honestly, now that it's over, I was a little nervous because you essentially just take a razor and scrape it across someone's skin. And I'm
just like, do it.
I know, and I was like, okay, sounds good. I'm totally confident in this. But
Yeah.
it went well, and
great.
you look great.
I look fab.
And like, doesn't your skin just feel like so
So baby
silky?
smooth.
I mean, like a child. Every time I get a dermaplane, I just rub my skin, which is probably not good because then I'm getting like dirt.
That's true.
But I just want to touch it.
Yeah, it feels nice.
I just want to touch it.
So great.
But yeah, so that's how our day's going.
So good.
Yeah, definitely. So today's topic, to get to the real meat of what we want to talk about.
The meat and potatoes. Sorry, couldn't help it.
I love how sometimes whenever we're about to talk about a topic, and then you just interject like the best golden nugget, just a little Chelseaism. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's like word vomit.
Yeah, it is. It's all right. It's like a really cute, like, characteristic of yours.
My husband
You
calls
should-
it clowning. He's like, you clown around so much. I'm like,
I like that. Yeah, you definitely do. But you're not like a clown,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Adam. I'm not a clown. Just goofy.
Yeah, it's fine though. It's fine.
But really, back to
But
it.
yes, back to what we wanted to talk about today was probably one of the hardest things that you come across in sales, and probably one of the hardest things I've come across is changing your decision maker's mind from
Change in general.
From not only when you're going out and you're trying to, get meetings with people, trying to get them to change a company that they're already using, when you're trying to, change
Anything.
another example that for some reason I just can't think of right now.
Well, I think as people in general, we just don't like change.
Oh, absolutely.
We hate it.
Because it's hard and it's
It's the
different.
unknown. It's scary.
Mhm.
Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
People hate change.
Completely, and it's hard to adapt a lot. And I think it challenges you to think in a new way. It challenges you to do something different, to do something new, rather than something that you're used to.
Absolutely.
And that
I
can be
agree.
hard.
No, it's definitely. So changing a company or a business owner's mind is really hard because
Mhm.
this is their baby. Or a lot of times if it's not fixed, why bro? If it
a hot streak today. If it's not fixed, why broke it? If it's not broke,
why fix it?
absolutely.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So you have to identify a bunch of different points, but change is definitely hard. Change in relationships, change in environment, change in jobs, change in business decisions, all the things. So, how might one present change? Brought to you by C. Jane So.
I think the first thing that I would do that I usually look at, like let's say if I'm going after a prospect, the first thing is you have to completely understand what they want and what they need.
Identify.
Absolutely.
Identify. That's why when you're in a meeting, what we call C&A, or customer needs analysis, whatever, you want to identify what their pain points are or what they really, because people will be like, for example, and you can cut me off like I cut you off. Yes, tell me. When somebody is like, it's just on price. Well, what is price to somebody? What is price? Is price just lowest, what's the cheapest? Or is price service involved? What's the service? What's the product? What's the benefits of these? Is like rock bottom price and you get rock bottom service and rock bottom product quality? Or is it like lower, a little bit higher price to lower price with mid-grade service, mid-grade? Or is it, I want top of the line service and I want my products to be good and I want, that comes with a price, right? So you have to identify what their pain points are, what makes them happy.
Completely.
And, instead of focusing on, like, the bad things or the problem, focus on the solution.
Right. And because no matter any business owner or decision maker that you're going to, nothing that they have is probably perfect.
No.
Like, almost, there is no business that's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And if you can identify and you can spot the weaknesses of your competitor and make them come to the realization and them realize
That's the key. They have to.
Absolutely.
It's like, and this is an intense example, but if you have somebody in an abusive relationship, you can't be like, Steve's a jerk and he's abusive to you. Obviously, Wanda knows Steve is a jerk, okay?
Oh, for sure.
But she has to come to the realization that this is something that she's got to get out of. And you can only be there to help her.
Exactly.
Okay. Wanda?
Anyways.
So you have to I think that was just really important to point out. They have to be willing to.
Completely. You can't.
Come to that.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
So you need to be able to identify what their strategies are, core issues, what is their desired outcome, solution options, and what their perception and value of risk is, We have to understand all these elements to support any type of a case for change happening.
Yes.
So, and what they oppose in that as well,
Completely. Yeah. So that's kind of step one, is identifying.
Yeah.
And realizing what their issues are that they're already having. I think step two would probably be
presenting options to these people to shape all these elements in a way that it advances your sale to the point where, you can compare. You want to compare what you have to what they have and how it meets what they need. You have a problem, I have a solution.
I love that.
Build up the pain, here's a solution. So you're telling me that you're unhappy. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with this issue? 1 being you want to punch them in the throat, 10 being you've never been more satisfied. You're a 4. Really? Wow. Jeez. Eee. That's a 40. That's an F. I would have been grounded.
Yeah.
Back to high school. Never had that happen.
But yeah, so you have to present different options to them and a solution, because you can't just say, oh, that sucks, like that this is the situation that you're in with this. You have to present a solution that's going to actually help them, and a solution, not like, oh, well, I have this product that doesn't even pertain to you, and like where you're just trying to push them and trying to fit them into, you know, fit a square peg into a circle.
Yeah.
Like, you have to actually think about what you could do to help them and how you're going to help them.
Well, and sometimes that is offering them something different. Not what you want, but what they need. So
Absolutely.
learn what the customer needs, learn what the issues are with this, and how you can improve it. So a lot of times, if you're selling something, you're a commodity, you know. You can get it from anywhere. So why are they getting it from you? You're probably priced higher. There's all these things, and change comes along with it. So what's your issue? What can you offer that's different so it doesn't become a price battle? If you're offering the exact same product at the same price, why would they change?
Yeah.
Unless it's significantly lower, and then where does that affect you? You know,
Absolutely.
Everyone's in the business to make money. So if you can come out with something or you have something, a product that you have and a service that you have that can be comparable but better, then that eliminates any type of a price game, makes you different, and, you know, satisfies the need of your customer, and where you're actually legitimately taking care of them.
I like that. And that's such a good reminder, too, is that pretty much any sales job you're going to be in, if you are a salesperson, it's most likely because there are other competitors out there that you're going to be competing with. So this is something that because if this company, if they had this product and it was the only product on the market, they probably wouldn't have salespeople because everyone would need them and you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
You know, you have a job as a salesperson because you probably have a competitor, and what you need to figure out is what makes you different, what makes you better, and then what your like absolute strongest selling. Wow, why can't I think of the word?
Selling points.
Points, thank you, Jesus. Your strongest selling points are, and embrace them and use them.
Yes. And I also think, like, there's a power in knowing what kind of sell you're dealing with, you know, when you're changing. Are you an order taker? Are you a problem solution or problem solver? Or is this something where you have made the introduction, you got your feet wet, they know who you are, but it's not the right time, so you walk away? Okay, because if you're coming in and they're okay with change and it's like, yeah, this is what I want, ABC, take ABC and get out.
Yeah, take it, get it out of there.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, you can offer little things, but, like, don't try to, like, push them any direction. This is your sell. This is your opportunity. Get it and go. I mean, there's always opportunities for upsell, so you have to, like, know your client, but you don't have to, if someone's, this is what I want to do, blah, 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 well, good. Don't talk about the other things. Talk about what you can do. Make it better, improve it, blah, blah, blah. But it's easy. You got it. Boom. You have the relationship. You know what they want. Give them what they want. Offer solutions or other things to upsell what you're doing, obviously. But
for sure. And you have to think, too, like, let's say you have someone coming in and you're just being an order taker. And you feel like, okay, well, yeah, this was easy, but it's, like, pretty small, whatever. Well, you can always think, well, when they're up for renewal, because you already have their business, this is a future opportunity to upsell too. Like, you have to gain their trust first, and make them realize that you're not trying to push them into something that they don't want.
Exactly.
Then over time, when they are your client, then realize what they want and maybe find little ways to tweak it and talk about it when it's time for renewal.
Exactly. And when you're meeting with these people, a lot of times they don't know maybe some of their other options. So you could, you know, present it like, hey, I know this is what you want, but unless you don't know about these things, you'll never know about them, obviously.
Completely. You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. And just be, like, low-key and chill about it.
For sure.
Respect that. But change is hard, even from, like, the sales and business, like changing systems and changing uniforms or changing any type of a vendor can come with headaches and hassle. So I think it all is how you present it. Like, lay it out. Be honest. Show, like, yes, nobody's perfect. You know, this is how we combat these things. But you have to identify what your client, prospect, customer, whatever, what their real pain points are and how you can outweigh the change with the good that's going to follow.
Yeah. Make them comfortable with change. Get them comfortable with...
Or just paint it, like, you don't have to paint it because you don't want to be, like, shady. But, like, show it in a way where it is no change. Like, look, this is... If I can turn your quarter into $1, would you not want that quarter to be $1?
Yep, absolutely. Kind of like when you're buying a new house. Like, yes, buying a new house can be so stressful and so ridiculous. But when you get in that new house and it's like brand new, it's yours, it's one of the most exciting experiences. You want to make this like buying a house. You want to remind them about the house.
Yeah.
About them getting in the house.
Remind them of the good things.
Remind them of the good things.
Look
get
at
them
you.
excited.
You could be sitting here in the sun window reading your book that you love.
Yeah. Like, you obviously have to be realistic and obviously
Yeah.
not lie to them about stuff.
Yeah,
like, you
paint
have
the
to tell
picture.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to paint the positive picture and make them realize how much easier and how much more exciting this is going to be being with you rather than being with.
And I think that's a big part in just life in general. When you have a problem, stop focusing on the problem, focus on the solution.
Oh,
okay, this is the problem, but how can I fix it?
Yep. And how much better will I feel with the solution?
Exactly. Or like procrastination. That's a huge part of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
you know,
really
when I have another day, I'll do it tomorrow or whatever. And then before you know, it's like 3 weeks. You're like, oh, well,
I should have done that.
Tomorrow has come and gone.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real.
That is real.
So I think that's one of the hardest parts about sales is change, because nobody likes change.
No one likes change.
I also think, put it in your own perspective, because you're a consumer of sorts. So if you're changing a skincare line, what made you change? You know, if you're changing...
Put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, put yourself in their shoes. I mean, they're people. Underneath all of it, they got the guts. They're going to die. We're going to be underground. I mean, that's morbid and horrible, but at the end of the day, we're just a bag of bones. I mean...
And think about all the times that I think that a lot of times in sales we can get really hung up on price, and we can get really like in our head of like, okay, well obviously they're saving money, so they're going to stay with this person. But think about how many times in your life that you've made a decision to buy something more expensive than what you've been using. Like, I've done that before. Like, I've, been using like one skincare product or one like hair care product, and I've been like, no, I'm going to obviously like buy something a little bit nicer because I want to actually see the results and I want good quality.
Yep.
And I don't want to have to worry about this. And you've done it. So if you've done it, other people are also capable of doing it.
Yep.
So
it's really that whole thing. You have to help them evaluate what price means to them. Is it just price? Or, I mean, there's a lot more in it. Okay, you say price is important, but what does price mean to you? Having something old and used and worn, but it's cheap, or having something new, replaceable, that makes, we can, at some point, if you offer something too low, there's, how are you going to make your money?
Yeah, and it's also kind of like skeptical, like, how is this so cheap?
Exactly. Like in my world, for example, like I sell uniforms. And so a 65-35 cotton polyester blended shirt, I might sell it for 25 cents and my competitor might sell it for 15. I'm going to be like, yo, it's a 65-35 cotton polyester shirt. We all get it from the same place. How do you think theirs is so much cheaper? There's these things called ancillary prices, or ancillary, wherever part of the country you're from.
Right.
Whatever. Yeah. I also called a cabaret show a Cabernet show today.
I just didn't think our Cabernet show was that good. I was like, what?
Anyways. I mean, that has to be made up somewhere. Everyone's in business to make money. So where are these charges going to come? So they got to make it up somehow. So wouldn't you rather have something that's like dependable, that's steady, that you can know where it's going to be, or something that it's going to be so low and then all of a sudden, boom, shoot up to something else?
Completely.
Consistency and consistency. What would you like?
Yep, exactly. And like, even for me, like, so now, I'm a business owner and I am in the process of getting my branding all together, getting my website all together, getting the style and, the overall, I guess, like, bare bones of this company put together. And I could have gone online and gone on, like, one of those websites where you say, I want a logo that looks like this, and paid someone $500 to get me a logo, and then that would have been the end of it. But I knew that later down the line, like, I wouldn't be able to explain this logo to people. I would not be able, like, it would not come from anywhere. I would be like, oh, that just looks cool. Like, I wanted to hire a creative team or a creative director that could actually sit down, tell me exactly why he's making the decisions that he's making, make my website look just like it, make the packaging look just the same. Like, everything can flow so easily. So I'm paying a lot more to make someone do that. Now, like, I could have saved a lot of money and spent more money in other places, but this is what I'm choosing to spend my money with, because for me, it's going to make me feel so much better. It's going to make stuff later down the road run a lot smoother. So I am choosing to spend way more money than I could have spent elsewhere. So like I technically am a decision maker in my business. And so you have to think of, like, for me, the comfort of knowing that I will have this handbook that I can go by for the next, like, 3 to 5 years when it comes to the, basis of my company made me feel so much better than just paying cheaply for, like, some product that I'm going to have a headache with in, like, 6 months.
Right. No,
So,
I get that. And I think, well, I know when you can relate to it personally, you can become so much more passionate and enthusiastic about it, which you have to be. If you want to be, like, people look to you as a salesperson, as the expert, as the person who knows what they're talking about, knows the ins, the outs, the ends, the buts, the what ifs, the whatevers. You know everything. So if you have to be passionate about it. You have to know. You have to take the time and do the research. If you really want to be successful in any job, in sales, owning a business, whatever, you have to put in the time to learn. Because there's 2 parts of sales. There's a relationship part and there's a product knowledge part, and you can't succeed without both of them. And to me, I think product knowledge is the most important, because you become an expert in that field. And when someone's changing, you're coaching them along. I mean, this is a big deal. So if you can become that product expert and know everything about it, and then, they're going to lean on you for your expertise, which means they're trusting you. And a big part of liking somebody is trusting somebody. So if they like you, obviously your relationship with them is going to grow, which in turn means you can build that customer, you can build that client, you can build whatever you're selling to them. So if they trust you for a certain thing and you're like, look, this is a great garment, but I would recommend this one. I can't tell you what you have to be in, but I could recommend, and this is why I recommend it, ABC, blah, 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 blah. And then chances are they're going to take me up on that. And A, they really needed to be in that, and B, I mean, that's good for me and my company as well. Whatever's good for the company, good for the customer, good for you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're in a more of a hunter/farming role, that's where you can continue to build, like, your customers' purchases over time versus just be one and done and out. Thank you, ma'am. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You build that relationship, and they know that you know what you're talking about, so they can really lean on you and trust you, which is huge. So people are going to spend a little bit more money with someone they trust as well.
Yep.
And that
for sure
takes out a lot of the price game, which we need to stop hanging our hat on.
Yeah, we do.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
I like that, though. And I like that, like, this is the stuff that we're talking about is it's a very huge struggle. It's not just like you're going to wake up one day and know exactly how to deal with change and know exactly how to tackle it.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things in sales to overcome.
Well, how do you overcome change in your life?
Ooh. Sometimes well, sometimes not well.
Like, we're going to have to go to a break. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not easy, and if you can put yourself in their shoes, you can make it a lot easier. Because change is hard.
It really is. It takes time. It takes energy. It takes actual determination. Like, think about, like, if you change your eating habits, if you change your workout routine, if you change from being sedentary to mobile and moving a lot and working out.
Sure.
That's huge.
And I would say that I probably embrace change a lot more than the average person. Like, I personally love change. Like, I find it insanely exciting, even though it's stressful. But still, like, it's the little things.
Yeah.
The little changes that give me the biggest headache. Like, waking up every day and, like, choosing to have, like, hot water and lemon instead of, like, a latte. Or, like, really, like, small things are just, like, so tedious.
Yes.
You know? Like,
Yes.
I love, like, big life changes, like, big moves, like, big exciting things. Like, I'm totally cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the small stuff that gets me.
The small stuff is the hard
Always.
stuff.
It's always the hardest.
It really is.
So,
I feel that. No, it is.
it is.
But I'm trying to think. When change comes about, I think with change, there has to come decisiveness, which is horrible in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like the most. I'm working on being more decisive. Okay. Like when you go on
It's hard.
trips, you got to know what you're doing. When you're talking
Mhm.
to when you're going out and doing something, have a plan. Like be
Mhm.
decisive. I mean, I'm not saying you have to plan your life out to everything, but
Right.
if you have just be decisive. This is a problem. This is the solution. Focus on the solution.
Mhm.
I feel like there is a lot of calm that decisiveness brings.
Yes. And it brings a lot of, you have to bring confidence to being decisive. And I think that a lot of people are afraid to be decisive because they're afraid to be wrong.
Yes.
And so I think that it's okay. You have to say, nope, this is the decision that I'm going to make. And if I'm wrong, no big deal. I'll fix it. Like, you have to
Yep.
just, like, understand that you have to just make a decision. Because I'm bad about that, too.
yeah.
That's, like, one of the main, really getting deep here. When I started seeing my therapist, my
Uh-huh.
new therapist in Louisville, because I mean, I don't feel like I have, like nothing, like, huge, major, like, is
Yeah.
happening. But I like seeing a therapist because I think it's healthy. And one of the first questions she asked was, okay, like, you know, what's something that you want to work on? And I'm like, being decisive. I question myself all the time. And I always think I'm making the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And she's just like, why? And I'm like, well, and then we, like, obviously delve deeper, but it's essentially like, I'm scared to be wrong. And she's like, hey, guess what? Everyone's going to be wrong.
Everybody's
and
gonna be
that's
wrong.
okay. Like, you can totally, like, make a decision. And if you're wrong, no big deal. You can fix it.
There's nothing but you going.
And a thing.
I mean, I heard something that I really liked. It was something to the effect of, you can have a really great plan that's executed poorly, or you can have a bad plan that's executed efficiently and amazingly.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you choose? I'd rather have something, like, whoa, but it was executed really well.
Like, that was great.
Versus like, oh, this is picture perfect and have no plan and just like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So,
Like, kind of like a bad play. You know?
Yes.
Like, do I want to go see Hamilton performed by, like, really terrible people? Or do I want to see, like, one of my least favorite shows, Cats, performed by really talented people? I would probably pick Cats in that exact situation.
I like that.
Because I don't want Hamilton to be ruined by bad people.
You went and saw Hamilton, didn't you?
I did, and it was good. It wasn't performed by
Okay,
bad
I was
people.
like,
It was not performed by bad people.
okay, cool.
This was a completely hypothetical situation.
Okay, I like
No, Hamilton was amazing. I went and saw it in Louisville. It was insane. It was
That's
so good.
great.
I cried like 4 times.
Oh my.
Like, twice because I was sad, twice because I was just, like, so overwhelmed by how good it was. I was just like, oh, this is so great. I love it. Yeah.
It's like probably what happens to people when they listen to our show.
I know. You guys just sit in your car and are like, I can't
I've been
fathom.
touched. Ah.
I can't fathom listening to anything more
Yeah, we won't finish
exciting.
it for you. You'll let your brains do that.
Yay, podcast.
Yay. But I think, yes, change. Change is hard. Selling change is hard, but you have to be confident.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to sell change, you can't be wishy-washy. Because
can't.
it's a hard thing to sell, right?
It is.
So you got to be confident.
Yes.
And you got to know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You have to, yeah. So do your research, be confident.
Know your product, know your client, know their pain points.
And just know you've got this.
Yes.
You've absolutely got this.
Amen.
Whoop, whoop.
Love it.
Yay.
Well, I'll keep it short and sweet for you all today. We know change is hard. Selling change is even harder, but if you're properly prepared, get your toolkit ready, you can do anything.
Anything.
And some sales you got to walk away from. Others you can improve, and others you just do. So,
I love it.
more power to you. I hope you guys crush it. I hope you change lives today.
Yeah. You're going to do amazing things, and we're proud of you already.
So on that note, don't forget to subscribe, rate, review. We're on Instagram, No, we're not. Yes, we are. I was thinking Pinterest. Oh my gosh, what is happening? We are on Instagram at CJ and Sal Podcast.
And on that note, Chelsea and I are going to go get some coffee.
I'm going to get some infused water, some lemon infused water because I need cleanse.
Yeah, let's not do caffeine. Let's get some lemon water. Cool. All right. Anyways, we're going to go do that, and you guys have wonderful days. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.